Howdy everyone, and welcome back to the Luna Geeks Out channel. We are back with some Gacharic Spin today. Super fun band. Really fallen in love with their stuff. Another live performance from them this time. Their track, Live Every Moment, hit. Why can I not say this? Hito Yobana. Not sure if I'm pronouncing that right, but we'll stick with it. There are so many thoughts in my head right now. I'm struggling. Lyrically, this is a really good one. Can't wait to talk about that. Musically, I have some really high hopes for it. This is going to be incredible. So yeah, really looking forward to checking this one out. Before we hop into it, though, there is one quick thing. It's not that important, but I wouldn't feel right if I didn't clarify this. So when we spun this on the picker wheel, when this got sent our way, I was like, okay, Gacharic Spin 2, I think that's whatever live performance came out after Replica, and that was the Gacharic Spin 2 I had on the list. But there was a live performance that came out in between the two music videos they put out, Kachiyama and Replica. I forget the song, but somehow I never noticed that came out. I have fixed the issue. That is on the list now. We'll get to that eventually. But technically speaking, this is Gacharic Spin 3. Really not that important, but like I said, I wouldn't feel right if I didn't clarify that. So yeah, it's a little messed up today. But anyways, yeah, very excited to check this one out. Without further ado, let's hop into it. Okay, get a bit of like heavy metal vibes. Reminds me of one of Iron Maiden songs. Can't place what one though. Gotta turn that up a little bit. Love all the different vocals coming together there. Ooh, great synths. Yeah, really cool guitar work in this one. Is it Iron Maiden I'm thinking of? I don't know. Their voices blend together really nicely right there. Days of Future Past, that's the song I'm thinking of. Great drums right there. Ooh, like that little high note in the vocals there. That guitar bit reminds me of one of Baby Metal's songs. I don't know what one it is with that, but There's one that has a similar moment. Alright. I'll admit, I was expecting something a little crazier. This is a bit more straightforward than I was expecting, but very, very good, for sure. Yeah, no, that was fantastic. Definitely had a bit of a sort of like heavy metal kind of vibe to it, which I really liked. And I do think it was Days of Future Past that it reminded me of. So yeah, cool stuff. But before we talk about the music more in depth, we of course need to take a look at the lyrics. We're using the translation on lyricstranslate.com by Missing Key for this one. And they've got a few footnotes here on this one that we'll be talking about as well, because there's a few details mentioned in those that I think are worth bringing up. So, let's hop right into it. Starting off right at the beginning, whose action in parentheses fault, and here we go into the first footnote. The word in the lyrics is written as, and you'll have to forgive me, I'm going to be reading some Japanese words again. I have not looked up how to pronounce these. I'm probably going to butcher them, but the word of the lyrics is written as shiwaza, action or deed, but is sung as sai, blame or fault. So, sort of those two ideas coming together. Whose action fault was it? The meaning of why you were born and fell. And the second footnote here, well, to be born and fall, umaryochiru is often translated as simply to be born. Different kanji is used in the spelling that emphasizes the idea of being degraded, as in something collapsing or falling into a negative state. So, what we're seeing here is the question of who is to blame, who created this negative state that the subject of the song, or at least of this section of the song, is experiencing. Where did that come from? All that kind of thing. Line up all those trite words and feelings. Let me hear you say, I'm alive. So trying to get the subject of the song to focus on the fact that they are alive, that they are experiencing things, and that they have a life to live. Now, isn't that a pity? Do you want to bring it to an end? Let's go however far it might be. So, at the end, we're getting a message of don't give up. Of course, do you want to bring it to an end? Certainly has an idea of suicide within that, but I think beyond that sort of very specific reference is just an idea of, don't give up, keep going, keep fighting, however far it might be, as it says right there at the end of that section. Then we switch into the English section right here. Always believe in yourself, never look back, forward you go, take your chances, ditch the fear. So just a lot of motivational stuff right there, believing in themselves, keep going forward, don't look at what's in the past, take your chances, take some risks, do some things, all of that, leave the fear behind. Time won't stop, so it's going to keep on going regardless. You only live once. Very iconic phrase right there. I suppose you've only got the one life to live, so you might as well live it to its fullest. And we see that continuing on. When there is, or where there is a beginning, there is an end. So life has a start and it has an end, but there's a whole lot of life in between that. Live every moment. Fly high and free. Live every moment. That's the important thing to understand. Live every moment. Like, it's not just saying, life's good, go and live it. It is live every moment. The good and the bad. Fly high and free. Experience that freedom. Don't tie yourself down. All of that. Back into the Japanese for one line, at least. It felt as if you were hanging on, switching into English for this one. You're mocking me, aren't you? And the footnote here says this is spoken by a different singer, presumably in response to the previous line. So it felt as if you were hanging on. You're mocking me, aren't you? Assuming that's a conversation back and forth right there, or forth and back. I'm operating under the assumption that the second person is the subject of the song. Perhaps there's an idea that, the narrator of the song doesn't quite understand what they're going through, something along those lines. Maybe they're not establishing that full connection that they need to understand each other. A couple different ideas you could grab there. Shifting Back into Japanese. Don't throw it away. Your sad eyes met my gaze. It feels like you're crumbling, but don't just stick to what you know. Go where your heart takes you. So they're witnessing the subject of the song kind of falling apart, struggling, and they're saying, hey, go do what you want to do. Go do what you need to do. Go where your heart takes you, as it says there. Don't just stick to what you know. Try some new stuff. Find some new passions, see what you're interested in, find the stuff that's going to keep you going, and give you that energy and that life, and so on and so forth. You're born into this world, that's good enough for me, so within this miracle now, I want to shine. So, we're born into this world, and, that's a pretty good thing right there, and they're going to make the fullest out of that, essentially. Like the falling blossom of the Hito Yobana, and another footnote here, and I believe this is the last one. The Hito Yobana refers to the Sagaribana, a swamp flower that blooms for only one night. Hito Yobana literally means one-night flower, and the fact that the word Hito, which means person, is contained within it might be a supporting piece of the song's central metaphor. So, an idea that you're either comparing themselves or comparing the subject of the song to this flower that only blooms for a short while but is beautiful while it does bloom. That's life right there. It only lasts for a short while, but it is a beautiful thing while it is there. I'll survive for a limited time, but they will still survive. There's no such thing as immortality, so I can truly live. That good line right there. They're not going to live forever. So this limited life that they have is all the more powerful and all the more meaningful, right? Back into English for this section, far, far away. No, not at all. I'm assuming that going in line with some of the other stuff we're seeing is the idea of sort of the end of life. It's not that far away. It's going to come up. It's going to happen eventually, right? Dying to live, living to die. Again, an idea of death and sort of the limited nature of life there. Should have figured myself out by now. We've been feeling it for so long. Nothing changes when you cry. Just live your life. That one, I think, is a good line right there. Nothing changes when you cry. That life is going to continue on regardless of what happens. So just live your life and don't necessarily worry about it. You're going to have those bad moments and you're going to have those good moments. And it's not really going to change anything. Life is still going to happen and you're still going to be here. So don't worry about it too much, about those bad moments is what I'm grabbing there. And then back into Japanese for the rest of the track. The things I wished for seem to be cut short, but in the depths of my heart they will never fade away. Here they are. If on this night I were to bloom wildly and shine, to fall and scatter at dawn, it wouldn't be so wrong. The destination we are bound to is the future. So they are ever going towards what is to come next, ever marching towards the future. And it's the life is swift, it's fleeting, but they bloom wildly and shine like it says right there. It is still something beautiful. To fall and scatter at dawn, it wouldn't be so wrong. Go back to that line, that end of things isn't a bad thing. It's going to end, so... And appreciate the beauty even in that, is what I'm seeing there. And then finally, the end section here. Crying, shouting our lungs out, facing the end, let's keep living on with strength. So they're letting all these emotions out, and they're continuing to go. Like the falling blossom of the Hito Yobana, our finite lives are fleeting. They're going to come to an end one day. There's no such thing as immortality, so hold on tight to this moment, enjoying life while it is still there. Indeed, we are alive. At the end of the song, a beautiful message to end things off with. So, all in all, what is this song about? It is basically a song about just enjoying and appreciating even more so life while it lasts. There's only a limited amount of time you have to live, so look at it and see it for what it is and appreciate the beauty within that, and live it to the fullest as best as you can is essentially what I'm grabbing there. There's elements of just finding the beauty and the joy in life. There's elements of continuing to go on throughout the hardships, so on and so forth. A few different ideas wrapped up within here, and I think all done very well. I'd certainly say these are very beautiful lyrics to this track. But yeah, just all in all, it's around that idea of just living life. It is really the central idea of this. So yeah, very, very good stuff, I'd say. Switching into talking about the music, that was fantastic. Starting off with the vocals, you had Hannah taking lead on the vocals of this track with Angie doing, doing sort of secondary vocals on this. It sounded like a couple other members came in with some backing vocals as well to flesh things out a bit more, which is pretty cool. But on the whole, vocals were fantastic in this. I loved the bits where the members harmonized and their voices came together and everything. That was really nice. But the moments where the different members each took lead in their different spots were fantastic as well. I think there was a good sort of back and forth with all of that. So yeah, fantastic vocals in this. I don't think necessarily quite as surprising as some of the other ones I've heard from them, but they didn't need to be in this song. This is a song that really benefited from its somewhat more straightforward structure with a lot of this stuff. So yeah, no, vocals were fantastic in this. Guitar, whew, incredible. Riff, like I said, really gave some Iron Maiden vibes. I do think it was Days of Future Past I was thinking of. Might have been a different song from them as well wrapped up in there, but that's the one that it felt like to me. I said it got that sort of classic heavy metal vibe with it, which is really cool. There was that one section that reminded me of Baby Metal. Always gonna make me happy. So I mean, the general guitar work in this was fantastic. You had the guitar solo that came in, and then of course synth solo alongside that. It sounded like really cool. Loved that. There are a couple of moments where both guitarists kind of joined together for some brief sections, which was really cool. So yeah, great guitar work in this. Bass, not as apparent as it's been in some of their other ones, and certainly not as just insane as it's been in some of their other ones, but I think, again, this was something where the somewhat more subtle and somewhat more simple approach really benefited what was going on here. So, yeah, bass. Certainly, I prefer stuff that is much more apparent, much higher in the mix, and much just... bass does some wild stuff. I certainly prefer that kind of thing, but that wasn't what was needed here. What was done here was fantastic. So, yeah, great bass in this. Drums, fantastic. I didn't mention them too much, but there were several moments where I was like, oh, this is incredible. So, yeah, great drumming in this track. And finally, electronics. Oh, those were good. Loved the synths in this one. They were a great backing to some of the other stuff, fleshed out the music a bit more, loved what was going on with them. Again, you had the one bit in the solo where they really came in, that was really cool. Loved the synth work in this one. So yeah, on the whole, this was a slightly more straightforward song. I mean, it had, some variety within it. It had a bit of a genre blend, but it wasn't this, like, insane song that just kept shifting around and did all this different stuff. And, that's the stuff that's good for reactions, right? That's the stuff that's like, oh, that's always super fun to check out. What's gonna happen next? What are they gonna bring in? I think it was the last one we checked out from them where it was like that. Just absolutely insane. So that's the kind of stuff that's really good for a reaction. But not necessarily as good for a song. And it doesn't need to be in every song. And so to bring that back into this one... This was a more straightforward song. It had a bit of variety. It shifted around a little bit, but it was more straightforward. And I think that was what was needed here, where it had this very uniform, very tight sound and was just very pleasant to listen to, right? Like, it wasn't the most surprising. It didn't catch me off guard. It didn't have any real moments like, whoa, what are they doing there? But the whole time it's like, oh, this is some good stuff. So, yeah, no, fantastic song. I think I'll have to go back and listen to the studio version and see how my thoughts are with that, but I think this is a strong contender for the best one I've heard from them so far. I think a very strong contender for that. To be fair, I haven't heard a lot from them yet. The stuff you've seen me react to has been it so far, but I think this is a strong contender for the best thing I've checked out from them. Though, I don't think any reaction is going to beat that first time reaction to Kachi, because I did not know what I was getting myself in for, and that was incredible. But, yeah, no, fantastic song. But I am out of things to say, so y'all know the drill. It is time to figure out what we'll be checking out next time. Let's give the wheel a spin and see what gets sent our way. It has been a little while since something really heavy, so maybe we'll get that. That is not really heavy right there. Geo, what's the track called? Killing Me Good, I think. Solo track by one of Twice's members. Man, I don't know. It's gonna be good. I don't have much to say on it. It's Twice. We all know Twice. This released pretty recently. I've heard a couple brief snippets of it, and it sounded decent. I think I'm gonna like it. I was hoping for something heavy, I'll be honest. I haven't listened to as much heavy stuff as of late, and I'm starting to feel the itch again. But I can do that on my own time, I suppose. Geo next time. That's going to be fun. Some more K-pop. Always a good genre to check out. Or field. I don't know. I really have too many thoughts in my head right now. But yeah. Nope. Geo next time. Really not what I would have chosen at all. But no real complaints there. I think that's going to be fun. Yeah. It's good K-pop next time. Looking forward to that. But I am out of things to say, so that's going to do it for the video. Thank you all for watching. Be sure to like if you liked, subscribe if you want to see more, and comment down below with your own thoughts on the performance, any feedback or criticism, or anything you want me to react to. In the description, there'll be a link to the live performance, so you can go check it out, support the artist, a link to my Gacharic Spin reactions playlist, my rock and metal reactions playlist, and my Japanese music reactions playlist, so you can check out some similar content from me. And then links to my Discord server, Instagram, Twitter, Spotify playlist of all the songs I've reacted to, at least the ones up on Spotify, and my Linktree, which has all my other stuff in it in case any of that interests y'all. Anyways, like I said, that's going to do it. So once again, thank you all for watching, and until next time, I'll be seeing ya.